What?
Tall,
What about Julia?
Tall and goofy.
Like later.
Calling him tall and goofy?
No.
You
Just
are
called me tall and goofy.
All right, it's pretty good.
TVM Talks TV season 3 premiere. Take one.
Wait, is it season 2 or season 3?
3.
Oh, you're right.
Get your seasons right.
Season 3?
Jeez.
Oh my god.
Semester's a new
Oh,
season.
Okay, got it.
How else would you?
And each season's 2 episodes.
Oh.
Okay, got it.
Make this a 4-episode season?
No, it's a 2-episode season. Because they're
Is it really a season?
yeah, and it's so writing intensive.
Our entire apartment is gonna be on this podcast.
Julia's coming back with Izzy and Sarah.
Yeah.
To discuss what?
Glee, The Fosters.
All of them at once?
No, like there's our different options. Most likely Glee.
Yeah, Glee probably. We've been rewatching.
A lot. Just
Yeah, ripping
Just
through.
Glee.
We watched 5 episodes in a row the other night, and they're
wait,
not
what?
short.
Aren't they? Yeah, they're 40 minutes
40
each.
minutes. We
So
spent a good
that's
3
started at
3 hours
6 and
plus.
did, like,
3 hours of Glee,
Yeah.
like a Godfather's worth of
Really
Glee.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was so good. It was the road to episode 10. We had to.
Season 1, episode 10, when Rachel was a crush on Mr. Shu. God.
Yeah.
Ah, yes. Who could
Yeah,
forget?
Amazing.
Who could forget?
Famous storyline.
In
It
fifth,
was.
The road
Tale as
to
old as
episode
time.
10.
when I watched those,
Yeah.
when I watched Glee in 5th grade, when I watched 3 episodes. No,
Yeah.
probably
Weren't a
like
Gleek?
6 or 7.
Excuse me?
No, I didn't have the
Is this even
self-confidence at
picking
the
up?
time to be a Gleek. But since then, I have. I've
I'm
learned to
rediscovering
embrace it.
Glee, and I would probably call myself a Gleek now.
You would
I
go that
wasn't
far?
when I was younger.
Do you have you formed a club yet of some kind on campus?
No, but I will. You heard it here first.
Do you think that's gonna get SMOO funding?
Yes.
Yes.
So many things.
I'll start a Mr. Shu fan club.
I like the idea of a bank
I'll
account.
be the only member, and
Sent to
I will be
jail.
sent to jail. The whole joke is that Mr. Shu should be in jail for some of the stuff that he does.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
What a weird fella.
Yeah.
Oh my god. His performance, Gold Digger, problematic.
Problematic. He goes, "Oh,
Is this the
Mercedes,
Glee
you know this
podcast,
one,
or are we
right?"
gonna talk about the Mindy
Yeah.
project already?
Sorry.
Jeez.
He also sings the thong song. Okay.
Hey everybody.
Hello. Can we try again?
Yeah, and action. Clap. Okay. Welcome to season 3 of TVM Talks TV. As always, I'm Lila,
I'm Ben.
and today we're going to be discussing the Mindy project, and we have 2 very special guests. Please introduce yourselves.
Wow.
I'm Alex.
I'm Julia.
These are 2 of the biggest Mindy project fans that we know. Here to discuss the amazing show, The Mindy Project, starring and created by Mindy Kaling.
Mhm.
Ben has not really seen that many.
I've seen the first 5 episodes, and then I started Fargo. So I did not finish.
Ben does his Fargo Minnesota accent impression. He's not allowed to do the rest of the episode.
I'll just be like, you'll just like zoom in the camera and cut my audio.
Anyway, just so we can get the best of both worlds. So we can hear him do the accent.
The people aren't ready. Nobody's ready for it.
We
You're a
already heard
guest.
it. I don't know enough.
What are you talking about? You're the guest. This is our podcast.
Good one. Okay, let's get started. So for those of you who don't know, I don't know why you'd be watching this if you like don't like the show.
Maybe they're just big fans of
Maybe it's
you.
like our family.
Yeah.
Like, so the Mindy Project stars Mindy Kaling as her character Mindy Lahiri. Chris Messina, who plays Danny Castellano, another member of the OBGYN practice where they work in New York City. Ed Weeks, who plays Jeremy Reed, the British doctor, who's like a lot. We'll get there. Ike Barinholtz, who plays Nurse Morgan Tukers, former ex-con, comes to become a nurse at the practice. He used to jack cars with his cousin Lou, but he doesn't anymore.
No more stealing cars.
And then, who else
Got
do
a
we got?
tattoo on my
Yeah.
stomach.
And then there's some other characters who we'll get to, but those are like that's the core team, I would say.
The core 4.
Through the
Yeah.
whole.
They like last the longest because as we'll get to, there's a lot of characters who come in and out with no explanation.
So many.
I saw this this is like me, but I saw this review of the show once that was like, if you didn't like one episode of the Mindy Project, you'll probably like the next one because they're so different and there's no consistency, which is I disagree with, but yeah.
Consistency's overrated.
You heard it here first.
Heard it here first.
Okay, so any opening remarks from our guests?
My favorite character is Danny.
I
I feel like I relate to him in some ways. As an Italian American man who loves Bruce Springsteen, I can understand that. He's just like small and angry and like sweaty and
Just reminds me of you.
okay, rude.
Harsh.
Well, and me. I'm
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
But yeah, Danny has some great one-liners. His red glasses are really cute. His little clip-on glasses.
Look in the front.
Yeah.
He looks like an old woman.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Like, you know,
I
Terry
don't know if I've seen
Crews
those.
had those
Yeah.
glasses.
In Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine,
Yeah.
I think he's got very similar glasses.
That clip in the front.
Yeah, the clip in the front.
Why? What is the purpose of glasses that clip in the front?
Comedy.
Because they're easier to
Just-
put on. I don't know.
Are they?
I
Well,
think
when you're an
well,
old
with
man like
those ones,
Danny,
they
you
can,
don't
like,
can't lose them.
They
Yeah,
can hang
exactly.
around your neck, but you can't. They're too small to like pull over your face. You can unclip them, and then they hang. They don't like dangle.
Yeah.
It's from I had a prof who had them, so I saw them in action in real life.
How old was said prof?
I want to say over
35.
70.
Oh,
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
they're like they're old man glasses / old woman glasses
And Danny glasses.
and Danny glasses. Yeah,
Can't
but the
forget
joke is
Danny.
that Danny's old, so it
Right.
works.
Okay.
Wait, so I guess so Danny's excellent character. I would say Morgan, played by Ike
Morgan,
Barinholtz, is a
yeah.
fantastic character.
Yeah,
So weird. The ongoing joke is that they like don't pay him that much, and
Yeah.
so his life is really sad.
really
Him and his
sad.
30
He's
dogs.
got a lot of dogs. He lives with his grandmother,
In
who he
Rockaway,
loves.
which is like very far outside of Manhattan.
Rockaway, New
favorite-
Jersey?
No, Rockaway Beach, New York. Like
Oh.
Queens. Like the
Oh, that is
the-
far outside
the
Manhattan.
beach of Queens.
His favorite spot is the quarry.
Yeah, he likes playing with rocks.
He likes to play with rocks.
Who among us doesn't
True.
like playing with rocks?
True.
He has
The other day,
glasses from-
Lila was like, "Oh, I really like rocks." So like,
Just like out of
Perfect
nowhere, or like
example.
rocks,
we were
the
like
topic of
sitting on
conversation.
a roof, and there are
Play
like
with
little
rocks.
pebble things, and Lila was just like throwing them around. I was like,
I
"I
like
rocks," and I was like,
Just
"Huh."
tossing them.
I hate that voice
Like-
that you do. The person who, like, is so
Rocks. You know what? I just realized.
Kind of a deep voice. So like
Me?
that- no, I do.
Oh,
so, like,
you.
that doesn't really work.
Okay, what do you want?
More accurate
Rocks.
voice.
Like a lot deeper. Like, what do
I
you
don't know.
want?
No, I'm just thinking.
I just realized Morgan
Yeah.
is like an old like cat woman, but he's not.
But
He's
a
an old
cat
dog
lady?
man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
like he stays at home like
True.
with all his dogs, and they
Yeah.
just love each other
Another
so
one.
much.
So is Morgan the carjacker, or is he the British one?
Morgan's
no,
the
Morgan's the
carjacker.
carjacker.
It's Jeremy.
Former carjacker.
Former carjacker.
Former carjacker.
Reformed
Carjacker.
criminal who comes to work
Yeah.
at the
At the
OBGYN
practice.
Yeah.
practice because
And
they
they-
get a tax break every time
Every-
they hire an ex-con.
That's why Morgan's cousin
Cousin
Lou.
Who's seen he's in Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
I forgot who he
One of the-
plays, but he's like in that show.
plays
it's not.
It's
the
not
guy that gets
Cliff.
fat and then he gets like muscular again.
Mac.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
plays
Mhm.
Mac.
Play. Oh, I should know
Yeah,
his name.
He's really
I should know his
funny.
name because he
Mhm.
created the
You
show.
should.
I'm really upset with myself for not remembering it immediately.
What's his
How could
line
you?
at the party?
He's like, oh my,
Oh my god, he wanted to
Date
lock
Mindy.
down Mindy.
So he's like,
basically.
the only
like,
reason
the
I
old
came to this
spinster.
He's like, the,
Lock her down.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's like-
spins.
he's
That's
like,
what he calls
I came
her.
to the only he calls it a vagina clinic. which,
Yeah.
like, he's like, the only reason I came to this vagina clinic is so I could lock down that rich Indian spinster. And then
Yeah.
so
And
that's
Morgan's
something.
like, think of it. Christmas at your
house.
house.
And then he's like,
Thanksgiving
"Your
at your
He's
house.
like, man, our family's trash. But
Yeah.
like,
He also has a tattoo of Richard Lewis,
Yeah.
I think, on his
yeah,
neck.
it's massive.
Yeah.
Um, and
Someone did it.
another other amazing part of Morgan's storyline is in one episode he has these like big glasses similar to like the white shrew like whites on the
Yes.
Mm.
office, And he's like, man, like, I gotta tell you a crazy story about these glasses. Like, I was at the Salvation Army, and they were gonna throw these out, and I said, I'll take those.
And this is like a recurring
Didn't he
story.
say, like,
he
not
tells
today?
this like in
I'll take
multiple
those.
episodes. He's like, I
Let me
heard
tell you
told you
about
about the
these
story about
glasses.
these glasses, and Mindy's like, yeah, the Salvation Army, and they were gonna throw them out. And I said,
Not
today.
There's a
today.
couple
I'll
like
take 'em.
reoccurring stories that they do. Like
yeah,
Jeremy, the British character, who starts out as this very like rugged.
yeah.
I don't know about rugged, but
Well, like,
Yeah,
okay,
no,
rugged.
but
no.
definitely a little.
him and
bit of
Mindy
a-
are having like a
He's-
fling.
Yeah, he like sleeps around a lot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
With,
Lots
yeah.
of models,
Ballerinas.
ballerinas.
And then he turns into like some guy that writes
And
poetry
then-
with his bird.
Yeah, he becomes-
Richard.
he becomes-
and he
Him
gets
his
fat
bird.
too.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's a
yeah,
storyline of when he like has to stress eat a lot because he
Mhm.
becomes managing partner of the practice, and he gains some weight, and then his weight fluctuates, and then he gets thin again, and it's a big celebration
Yeah,
in the office.
It is. It's a big deal.
But there's a storyline with him that he gets catfished by a man
Yes.
with no
No
torso,
torso.
and they like
Yeah.
say that a lot, and it's like one of the weirder aspects of the show. It's
Yeah.
like, and
Yeah.
then there's another one where Morgan he comes to Montreal
Yeah.
and gets catfished by a male prostitute. So like
Yeah.
that happens.
A lot of catfishing.
And that's why Morgan doesn't travel.
Yeah.
Because here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How weird is the show? Would you say?
It's not that weird, but then they have
There
like
are
Easter
moments.
eggs.
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
weirdness.
With that.
Like strange tie-ins to like previous episodes and stuff.
Yeah, that like aren't
Kinda.
I guess we can like segue into episodes.
Mhm.
Oh, I
One
didn't
of the-
talk about my favorite character.
What's your favorite character?
Adam Paley's
True,
Peter.
I love Peter.
Peter Prentice is
Peter's
one of
my
my. I think he's
absolute
one of my
favorite.
favorite characters too. Jer Bear.
Hi, Jer Bear.
Yeah.
My wife.
So Peter Prentice comes in like season 2, and he's this like
Ah.
frat guy who
Yeah.
went to Dartmouth
Oh.
and is like,
Say you got
But he's
double
like a
Ds.
he's like a
Double Ds.
chubby frat guy that went
Yeah.
to Dartmouth, so he's
and
like,
he like wears his
just-
Dartmouth hat all the
yeah.
time. He's
Yeah.
from Livingston, New Jersey.
Oh
The-
my.
The actor,
The
not the
actor.
character.
Oh, okay. If the
So
character from
fun.
Livingston, that would be kind of
Yeah,
that'd
niche.
be fair.
Yeah, but he has this like weird voice, and like
Yeah.
he has like
Very
I guess it's an accent. It's like a
Mhm.
Jersey accent, but like a weird one.
Yeah.
Um,
It's very bro.
Yeah, and he's just like,
Bro.
hey guys, and like,
Hey guys.
Peter,
Peter, and he's got a list.
Jer Bear.
Jer Bear.
And at first he like no one in the practice likes him. He assumes Mindy's a nurse, and then assumes she's a plus size
plus-size
model,
model.
and she gets like very
And he's
offended.
like, well,
And then-
model,
did
I
they-
said model.
And then he calls Danny little buddy because Danny's like probably 5'8", maybe.
Danny's
Shorter.
5'8".
That's
Wow.
Oh, he
Yeah.
seems
He's
that
like
character
five
seems like he'd be
Very small.
he seems like he'd be very sensitive about his height.
Yeah, so he calls him
Yeah.
little
That's all
buddy,
Italian, my God.
and so that's a whole thing. Alex, how tall are you?
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, so he calls him little buddy, and so at first they like don't like him. Mindy
Yeah.
tries to befriend him by taking him to the American Girl Cafe. He hates that.
What? Why?
Yeah, it's
I don't
like
know,
that's a
they
whole
do
other
become,
thing.
Classic Mindy bit.
And then they
Besties.
become like
Yeah.
best
Just a vast
friends.
miscalculation.
He becomes her OBGYN.
Yeah. But what's it? Oh my! That reminds me of the recurring episodes of just Danny Castellano is my
Yeah.
blank, and then like it's just Danny
Those are the
taking up
beginning.
different.
Those are the best
different
ones.
roles.
So like it's I guess perfect segue. Excellent
Mhm.
job, Alex.
No.
In season 1,
Just wait till
one
they
of
get
the
there.
early episodes is called Danny Castellano is my gynecologist because Mindy.
It's one of my
Does-
I've seen
favorites.
this one.
Oh.
Then you
There
can,
we go.
now we
So,
can discuss.
Yeah.
Mindy doesn't have a
Ready?
gynecologist because she like keeps missing her
And
appointments.
Dr. Shulman can't be hers
they're
because
too
they're
close.
too close.
Dr. Schulman's the doctor who's in charge, like he's in charge of the practice at the beginning. So then Danny's at first. This is when Danny and Mindy have like this weird chemistry that's not. They don't act on it yet, but it's like awkward.
Yeah.
And it's very tense. And so he's like, "Oh, like I could be your gynecologist because like I don't have feelings for you.
Yeah.
You're like a
You're
lamb."
like a lamb.
Ah, yeah.
So then they have like this little battle
Yeah.
during like a gynecological visit.
She's like pretending to be like. She's like, just remember, you're a warrior.
Yeah.
She's like, dude.
Morgan tells her to come up with this like alter ego.
That's what he did in
warrior,
prison.
And that's how
Ah,
he's
yeah.
like strong in prison.
Says, whenever I was
so-
getting beat up, either my my real ass or my emotional
emotional
heart
ass."
ass. It's a classic line.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, the two of them like square off during this.
Yeah.
She like gets weighed. She's like naked, getting on the thing. She's like, just weigh me already.
And then in the beginning, during the consultation, they're going back and forth, and he's asking her all these questions, and it's like, she's trying to make him uncomfortable, and like he's like, "Are you sexually active?" And she's like, "Yeah, Danny." Like, "Are you?" Like, and like they're just like going back and forth.
Yeah.
And that's a really good episode.
There's another one where he's the personal trainer, and then he has to like. 'cause
That
she
might
has
be
to
my
get in
favorite of
shape.
all time.
And, like,
Amazing.
Are a lot of episodes just them both being stubborn
Yeah.
for like 15 minutes, and then there's like some B plot or whatever,
Yeah.
So
but mostly
pretty
them
much.
not giving in.
Mindy's dating a lawyer who works in the building. Another
Cliff.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
What's
Glenn
Cliff's
Howerton.
last name?
Oh, wow.
Gilbert. Cliff
The-
Gilbert.
Glenn Howerton's in a lot of things.
Yeah, he's an AP
He-
bio. That show's
He
good.
is,
Have you
and he's
seen
in
it?
Fargo.
There you go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Full circle.
So Mindy's seeing him, and he's like, Cliff's like weird. He like
I like Cliff.
I like
Cliff
when
makes
Hey,
me
I mean, I don't
because
know.
Mindy like
You a Cliff fan?
trips on his package
Yeah.
when she's like
wearing her fat
sad
steps.
and she's wearing her fat steps
Or
which
like
everyone
shape
hates.
ups kind
Yeah,
of.
they're like heeled running shoes.
Or one of her best lines, she's like, Chris Christie wears them on the campaign trail. Our next president.
Yeah. And then she like plans this elaborate scheme to like seduce him at the Christmas
Called Christmas Party Sex Trap.
Also an amazing episode.
Yeah. And so they finally start dating because like he's dating someone played by Ellie Kemper, and like it's like all back and forth.
Does Ellie Kemper play her usual character?
Yes.
I figured.
She's crazy.
She has a very specific. She
Wait,
has a niche.
he's
She has a
dating-
niche.
What?
Cliff had a girlfriend.
Cliff
Yeah,
dated
Heather.
Heather.
Who
I don't
was
remember this.
dating Josh, Mindy's like first boyfriend on the show.
I don't remember no Heather.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's alright. She's
Yeah.
like not in that many.
Was
episodes.
Josh the sports agent guy?
Yeah.
Ah.
Who's like
Yeah.
the worst.
The other lawyer.
Yeah. She dates two lawyers. But Cliff's a divorce attorney. And then they start dating, and he's like, let's go skiing in January so
Yeah.
we can like go sit in the hot tub. And she starts freaking out. And
Yeah.
she's like, oh my god, I have to wear a bathing suit in the
Mindy,
winter.
Min,
She's
how
like,
have you never
"Usually
had
I
sex
use-
with anyone and
yeah.
showed your body? I usually use a variety of shadows and like covers to just
Well,
cover
I
this
pretend-
all
I
up.
pretend I'm really into blindfold.
A classic Betsy line.
Yeah.
Betsy, who's like this very
The little
timid,
Christian Mormon girl.
She's like very timid and young.
And she
like,
accidentally orders bottle service? I remember that.
Yes.
But
excellent.
she
They
says
gave me a
to go
whole
sex
bottle
without
and you guys are
That's
really
the
drunk.
ultimate.
Yeah, sex without nudity is the,
The ultimate. And
goal.
then Mindy's like, okay, weirdo.
But yeah, so Danny is like, first Morgan is like, oh, I'll train
And
you.
then
but
Morgan
then
spits at
Morgan
her.
spits on her.
And so that cuts. And
That
then
ends.
That doesn't work out after
No.
that. They have
She
to.
like sit ups. He's just like, work it.
You maggot!
You
Like,
maggot.
and then Danny becomes
she's like, too far, too far.
And then a subplot, and like another aspect about Danny is that he's like in really good shape, and
Yeah,
he's
Oh
just
my
he
God,
wears
the whole
tight t-shirts
episode
and he's
where,
like, I
like,
see
his-
the way you look at my body.
and she's like, all right, torso, pretty great, legs, magnificent, arms, okay, feet, disgusting. And like, so it's all about like Danny's like weird good body,
Yeah.
and so then he becomes her personal trainer,
Mhm.
and
Mindy shows up in like a weird sweater
with,
and like
performance
rhinestones, and she's like, these are my, like, you're looking at my workout clothes.
He's like, are you trying to get me killed?
Killed,
Like,
yeah.
He works out at this very old school
Scary
gym with
gym.
like a guy with a mop,
Like
and,
no
like,
machines,
just like
just
a
like,
punching bag,
yeah.
and like
and,
all
like, a
these
pull-up
just
bar.
little
Whole
weights.
episode
Yeah.
dedicated to Danny's ex-wife doing like an artistic photo expression of Danny's naked body. So you got him
Right.
doing like a little boy pose, like just
Yeah.
completely nude,
Jesus.
and, like
Yeah.
with a baseball bat, and it's just all white with
The
just
episode's
naked
called Wiener
Danny's.
Night,
Yeah.
and so they all go to see Danny's
It's
show,
really fucking funny.
Yeah.
and they're like, and this is a classic Peter Prentice line.
Classic.
He
Just
goes-
who could forget?
So
Who could ever forget?
We'll go get wieners before we go to the Danny's Wiener show. It's gonna be a wiener night. And so like, oh, that's a good one. And so then they all
Oh.
While, like looking at Danny's like weird naked body.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
What a strange concept for an episode.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's Christina.
one of the
It's his
best ones.
ex-wife.
His
getting
ex-wife,
back
Christina.
At him.
I mean, how could there
Because
be a
they,
bad
like,
episode of The Wiener
turn-
Show, if we're being honest here?
Yeah.
That's not even, you can't even do that, really. You have to try to make a bad Wiener Show
It's
episode.
like it's a one of the better episodes. And then
For sure.
Mindy sees Danny afterward and is like, "Oh, Danny, like it's so weird. I didn't recognize you with your clothes on." And so then back to the episode with the workout, and so they're in this. Oh, so during
They're
that
working
episode,
out.
they're
It's
working
good.
out.
They get into a good rhythm.
And Danny is able to help Mindy work out by like pretending that she's in like pop culture scenarios.
Ah.
So
like
it's
she
"You're at the
fell
Golden
at the
Globes."
Golden Globes.
And, like push
yourself back
and,
up.
like that kind of thing. So like he incorporates like celebrities and stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's what
To
Mindy...
motivate Mindy.
Like,
Yeah,
she only
yeah.
cares
Christina
about
Hendricks
celebrity
just dropped her shoe. You have to go pick it up again.
Yeah.
What do you do?
And
Danny, I go.
Yeah.
Anne Hathaway just fell down, and you have to pull her out of the rubble.
I got you, Anne.
And then
Yeah.
he's like, "You killed Anne Hathaway, national treasure."
Cut my thing.
Mindy falls, and then Danny like stands over her head and is like, "Are you okay?" And she screams. And then so later, somehow Mindy's like
Naked in her
naked
office,
again in
'cause
the
she's, like,
office.
feeling like insecure about her
Yeah.
body because Danny makes some comment about it, and
Yeah.
he's just like, "I just have a couple notes," and she's
Yeah.
just like, "Don't say
Yeah.
anything," and so
In the same episode, there's like an owl in the office, and it's flying around, and so Mindy's naked in her office, and then the owl like flies
There's
in,
also-
and so she screams, and then like
Hold up.
Danny comes in, and like
he's like staring at her, and
Yeah.
he's like, "Do you want me in the office, out like or outside the
Yeah.
building?" And then he like won't leave.
yeah,
And then
Yeah.
at the end of the episode,
Yeah,
he, like
they
comes
start
back,
talking.
and she's like, Mindy comes in, and he
Mm-hmm.
goes, "Oh, like Mindy, like didn't recognize you with your clothes on." It's like a callback to the previous
Yeah.
episode. She goes, you stole my hilarious line." And yeah, and then
For a man who hates Europe.
yeah,
The will they or
very
won't they
European
becomes
taste.
the becomes the will they. They will.
Um,
There's
and
a whole
then
raccoon.
You want to speak to the owl plot line as well?
Oh my
There's
God.
an owl.
One
Wait,
of
so
my
there's an
favorite
owl
ones.
plot line and a
So,
raccoon
I
plot
don't know
line.
why-
Yeah, Pepe the horny
Pepe,
raccoon.
yeah.
This,
Hi, Pepe. He's just at the window, and
there's
it's
just
like,
one line with Morgan, and Morgan captures the owl, and he's like, "I found Owlie. I wrapped him in a towelie," and it's my favorite line. My favorite
of the whole
line.
show,
And then
of any
Peter-
show.
Peter just like freaks out, and grabs the owl, and like throws it
Yeah,
out
they
the
leave Peter
window.
in charge one episode, and he just
Yeah,
goes
it's
through like
that
a
one.
cheese puff stage where he just
Yeah,
he's
he's
like
just
ripping
eating a
into a bag of cheese
thing of
puffs.
I get
and
it.
He's so
I get it.
stressed.
Yeah,
I
and
get
like
it.
Tamara ordered
Puff
a
souffles?
million
Puff
gloves.
souffles?
Like it was a
Yeah.
disaster.
Tamara, why'd you order
Oh,
so many
oh,
gloves?
you're the
You
king
said order 100 boxes of gloves. We don't need a million gloves,
Yeah,
Tamara.
And so
It's
then
like-
the delivery person he's delivering all the gloves, and he's like,
Yeah.
I was like talking to the guys, and I was like, "Man, with this much rubber, we thought it was like a German social club." And then Peter goes, "Oh, you got jokes? Like you think you're the king of Queens?"
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know why that really gets
What a
me.
dated reference to King of
It's so
Queens.
good. He's like, "Oh,
No,
you think
Peter-
you're the
You know
king
that
of
show that's on
Peter's got
Pix
such
11? So, oh, Pix
good-
11 is only New Jersey.
Good.
But
You
that show
got
that's on
jokes.
reruns
CW.
sometimes? CW,
Mm.
right.
Yeah.
King of, has anybody here ever watched an episode of King of Queens?
Yes.
You
What-
have.
What
Of
is
course.
it?
It's Kevin James.
Patton Oswalt, I believe, has a small role.
Kevin James,
That's
who's
how-
also on the Mindy Projects,
That's what
or
I'm
the
saying.
wrong one? Oh, never mind.
We'll cut that, don't worry.
Good, I can't.
Nobody will know that you
Why?
Okay, good.
mixed up
I get that
Julia,
Your
why do you
English-
think Kevin Smith was Kevin James? Oh my god.
with their
Kevin-
with
is
their
Kevin
roughly
James
similar
Paul
common
Blart
British
or
mass
Paul
name.
Blart?
Paul Blart.
Okay.
Paul Blart, and he's
See, I
also in
know-
Zookeeper.
He's in a lot of
I
things.
know. I like.
Adam Sandler's friend?
I
Yeah.
could-
He has a lot of. He's made a lot of money
He's in
off of.
that-
I just get the
Fire-
last names mixed up.
He's in the one where Adam Sandler and him get married or something as
Grown-ups?
firefighters to like avoid.
know that one.
You
I
not seen that
don't
Obscure
doubt
ones.
it,
You know,
'cause
just
that
go with it, and,
sounds
I
like something they
refuse to
could
watch
do.
Any other one. You like just go with it?
One? It's a pretty good
You
movie.
guys should watch it sometime.
But back to the Mindy.
Just
Project.
go with it.
Sure. So Kevin Smith is also on the Mindy Project.
He keeps running into her and calling her his fat
His-
buddy.
like, they're like-
It's really
He's like,
funny.
she sits next to him on a plane, and she's like, thank God they didn't put me next to one of those like
Skinny people.
You
Oh,
and
yeah.
I,
Skinny
like, we could
stink
just
eye.
say,
Yes, us chubs
yeah, us
gotta
chubsters
stick together.
gotta stick together.
And she's like so
Sure.
offended.
I'm
Yeah.
not fat. She's just like.
She's like, guys, everyone knows I'm so thin and like
Yeah,
huge boobs. And, like,
Yeah.
I'm a petite Asian woman.
yeah,
That's like a
that's how she
classic
describes
line.
herself. Yeah,
Yeah. So speaking of the plane episode,
yes.
she meets.
Oh, of course, there's a plane episode.
There's a
There's
lot
always
of plane episodes.
there's always a
Always
plane
a plane
episode.
episode.
There's so much.
I guess this is where we can segue into like some of the like booze.
Yeah.
Or what?
She's a lot of like boyfriends on the
Oh,
show.
Oh.
so many.
In the first
So,
episode, she
so
dates,
many.
Like 10 people.
Yeah,
Like, which is
Yeah.
like it's just quick turnaround.
Yeah.
And so,
You gotta
so
moves
yeah.
fast.
Yeah, it does move really fast. Like, I
Yeah.
guess we could start with like
yeah.
Is like every
Those are
plot
some
in
of
the
our
show in
favorites,
some
yeah.
way
I think with
around
Brendan
Mindy's dating
Delory,
life? Like, what percentage of the
yes.
plots in the show do you think are around Mindy's
like
dating life?
most.
Most.
70%.
Most.
80%, I would say.
That you would go that far?
I would go that far.
I guess one of
It's all just word.
In the
for
end,
word.
it's all semantics.
one of my favorite one of Mindy's like romantic flames, I guess, is Brendan Delorier, played by
The
Mark
midwife.
Duplass, and like Mark and Jay Duplass play midwives
Yeah.
who work above them.
Yeah.
In the same building, and they like hate each
Mhm.
practices. Like,
Yeah.
hate each
The
other.
midwives call the OBGs like the drug dealers.
Yeah.
Like,
And then they call the OBGYNs call the midwives like hippie witch doctors. Like,
Yeah.
it's a lot of
Yeah.
like, back and forth.
Mhm.
But there's awkward moments where they like work together. Like there's one episode where they're
Oh,
all
yeah.
on the same softball team, and then the main
Yeah.
midwife guy's getting really pissed off because everyone else is sucking, and he's like,
Oh,
"Guys!"
yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
So
And Brendan, like when Mindy's having her baby, like
Yeah.
Brendan helps
yeah.
her.
So like they're like sort of friends, but
they're
like
frenemies.
Welcome back. We're coming back to TVM Talks TV episode Mindy Project. And right now we're going to discuss one of our guests' favorite episodes. And it's a really good one. It's
Formal
called
introduction.
That's
Wow,
that's what I
jeez.
deserve.
Professionalism.
So professional.
This is formal.
All right,
It's
talk about your
unbelievably-
Catholic thing that you want to talk
It's
about.
called Confessions
It's
of the
called
Catholic.
Confessions of a Catholic.
Guest
So-
starring
So
Stephen Colbert.
where we
King.
are in the show. So Mindy is pregnant. Danny's like obsessed with this baby. Like the sonogram is all over the place. Like this is where they are. And so Danny goes to confession one day and is like talking to his priest, Father
Yeah.
Francis, and
Oh,
he's
no.
like just like what are some of his like his confessions?
So,
he's like
I'm cohabitating before marriage.
Yep. And I, like knocked up my living
living
girlfriend. And like and they're like, Danny, or the priest is like, Danny, is it the masturbation? Again. And then
no,
he's
no,
like,
it's not the
and then so he's
masturbation.
trying to explain, he's like, I was under this spell of this like
exotic
sorceress. She wears all these bright colors
And
and
uses
uses
all
all
this
this
foul
R-rated
language.
Describing
and
Mindy.
so like
Yes.
Father, before we know it, like we're going at it,
Yeah.
and like this happened like a couple hundred
times.
times, and
And
now
he goes, but it's proof I'm not using protection, right,
yeah.
Father?
And so
then-
God has blessed them with gift of life, and so
then
Father Francis has a
dies
heart attack,
in the confession booth.
and so they're like, now
Is that
they're
the
at
right
the
term for it?
funeral, and
No,
they're
it
like,
is. I was just
Father
like,
Francis was like
he has a heart
literally
attack.
1,000.
Yeah.
Mindy says like, who was he? Like, was he
Jesus'
Jesus's roommate?
roommate.
Like,
And
it
then-
was so
And
awesome.
so there's a new priest
New
at
priest,
the church.
and so it's all
Uh-oh.
like, who is the new priest? gonna
Hijinks.
be? And so
Hijinks. Oh, no.
Stephen Colbert walks
Mikey
out.
Who's
O'Donnell.
in-
Mikey O'Donnell.
Who's very Catholic in real
Very
life.
Catholic.
Typecast,
So he
certainly.
walks out, and Mindy's like, Hachi Machi, who's that guy in a dress? He's hot as hell. And then
Stephen Colbert in his like priest
he's wearing like a
outfit.
full priest
I
garb.
love the idea of somebody saying like how hot
Hachi
Stephen
Machi.
Colbert is.
And he's got his beard,
looks
like
really good,
full
yeah.
white. He looks really good in that
Yeah.
episode.
I'm not
Another
he doesn't.
old
So-
man.
And so Danny's like freaking out. He's like, "Oh my God, that's Mikey O'Donnell from Staten Island. Like, we're gonna be fine."
We used to call him the
because
virginity
thief of Staten Island.
also known as the Impractical Joker.
Yeah, and so
Have you seen that show?
What?
Yes, I've seen Impractical Jokers.
They're from
I was
Staten
watching.
Island.
I was
Yeah.
watching the bingo scene
Oh my
recently.
God, that one's tough.
It destroyed me.
Yeah, it's really hard.
Just in
Anyway,
every. It just
we'll do
took
it
what's
everything
wrong
out of
with
me.
it?
Sal has to like keep saying that he's won bingo over and over and over.
And a
Right.
very large bingo hall with lots of old people.
Got it.
in
Got
a
it.
casino.
Cute.
Yeah.
So Mikey O'Donnell, they're like, this is gonna be fine. He's terrible. Like, but then basically he's like, no, the worst sins are like birth control, cohabitation before marriage, like all this stuff.
All the like
Like
chill
a
ones.
same, like just a same
The
path
chill ones.
to hellfire.
Is
And
that the
then,
technical term?
Lila, are you even allowed to say Catholic sins are chill? No, I'm just kidding.
and
Sorry.
then so he like starts singing in Latin.
It's,
He's like, Agnus Dei. And then he's like, by next week you should all know Latin.
And he calls Father Francis a decrepit bag of bones. Like, and so
Yeah.
eventually Mindy needs
They're
to
like,
win.
they need to win over this priest to be like,
Yeah,
we're
because they have
fine.
to be liked.
Yeah,
Right,
and
and
so-
they're also
Otherwise
like,
the show
Danny
doesn't-
could get
The show doesn't work.
excommunicated
Yeah,
or
and
something.
Oh, we
so
can't have
Stephen
Danny
Colbert's
get
like,
excommunicated.
we're
That
on-
would ruin his Catholicness of his
Yeah,
character.
Exactly.
And then
So-
without Catholicness, he can't even be a character.
Yeah. So like, word on the
Okay.
pew, as
They say.
Father
O'Donnell.
Mikey O'Donnell says, is like that there are rumors that like Danny's living with his girlfriend
Who's
before marriage,
out of-
and so
She's
she's
not of
of the faith. But then so Danny lies, and it's like, oh no, Mindy, she's a great Catholic.
Mindy
like,
McPherson.
Mindy McPherson. And so
Ah,
they start this whole plan to like have him over for dinner and like win him over, basically.
And Mindy invites him over by texting him.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Who? I don't recognize you."
Yeah.
She sends like a person in a turban. He's
Yeah.
like, oh, Mindy's new girlfriend. I mean, Danny's
Danny's-
new girlfriend. Like, it's like so.
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, and so he shows up for dinner right on time.
Yep.
He's wearing a leather jacket, and
Classic Colbert fashion.
yeah,
Very
and
classic
then so they just like
Colbert
start
fashion.
having dinner. Mindy's like
citing all these
making
Bible
up
verses.
stuff. Morgan is like texting her stuff
Yeah.
from the Bible.
Yeah.
All throughout this dinner.
And she's like, one of my favorite lines is actually from like the Old Testament. He goes, do you have any from the New Testament? She goes, there's a sequel to the Bible, but not to Gone Girl. Like
Yeah.
all this stuff.
oh my god.
And so eventually, the dinner's going well, and
Yeah.
then Danny realizes,
He's
or
like-
Mindy realizes that she's
So the
left.
priest needs to use. He says, "I need to use the little boy's room or
Yeah,
something like
little
that.
priest
Little
room.
priest room."
And so Mindy realizes she forgot like condoms in their medicine cabinet, and so he's like, "Oh my god, he's gonna snoop! Everyone snoops! Like
Yeah.
all this stuff."
So
Everyone
they
snoops?
decide
In the
that
medicine
No,
cabinet.
nobody snoops. Don't
Mindy's
worry
gonna
about it.
sneak in
Nobody.
and
Ever.
take the condoms out of the cabinet while he's using the bathroom. So Mindy
Oh my
opens the
God.
door, and the priest is like singing "Walking in Memphis"
like
while
the
he's
Stephen Colbert
peeing.
one.
So he's like,
Walking
"Walking
in
in Memphis, in
We're
Memphis."
familiar.
And so
He sings
So
like
We know the
Mindy-
song.
all of
he
it.
sings the whole song, and then
Do
so
you
Mindy
Pay for
like
that,
sneaks
too.
in, grabs them,
I
and then like
feel.
puts them in the cookie jar, and they're like,
Jar.
okay,
Sure.
Cookie
And they're
jar.
like,
Peter
okay,
Prentice.
okay, they're
Jar.
fine. And then like
My
they're
wife.
kind
My
of
wife.
expecting him to leave, and he's like, "Don't you guys have any like board games? Like what about
dessert?
Like, I'm
The
a
main course
priest,
was
this
an
is
hour
my
ago."
crack." And then so they like are playing Scrabble, and
She goes,
Mindy put down
nom,
nom
nom.
nom nom, and he's like, "Okay, use that in a sentence."
She goes, "I got these meat patties," and I was like, "Nom nom nom nom." nom. He's
And
like,
then
"That
they're like,
works."
"Fair." And then so basically they're like, then he brings up this like disturbing rumor again. It's like, I've heard like you had a like troublesome ex-girlfriend, and they're like, oh, this is like an ex-girlfriend. Like
It's not
she was
Mindy.
crazy. She was bad news, all this stuff. It's not Mindy. Mindy McPherson's like a good Catholic. And then how does it
So
start?
first they're like, I heard she was like the sex crazed maniac,
Yeah.
and she goes, I think she was more like sex positive in a way that was really on brand for her.
Yeah.
And then they're like, and I heard she
And then there was something about her bot. She was like, I heard she was like,
had, oh my god, how's it go? It's
I
like,
can't remember exactly, but
there's-
then it's like, oh, she was
the
really
story.
hot, had like a great body, and then Stephen Colbert's like, I heard she was pear-shaped with small breasts, and then Mindy snaps back and
two
she's like,
pairs stack
more
on
like
top
two
of each
pairs,
other.
and he's like, that's a butternut squash. Yeah, hot as hell. Could have sex for
Oh,
hours.
I'm like, it's like so dumb.
She's just like, it's so quick.
Yeah, she's like, he goes, that's a butternut
That's a
squash.
butternut squash.
And so eventually, Mindy leaves, and like, because she's all upset that
Yeah.
the way like Danny's like talking about how
Yeah.
she's like bad news,
Yeah.
and so she like goes to the bunk beds, like
Yeah.
and goes to bed,
Yeah.
and Stephen Colbert, the priest sees Danny's computer, which the
The sonogram.
the
is on.
screensaver is their sonogram for their
Yeah.
baby, And he's like, oh, like, is that for one of your patients? And Danny's like, I can't lie about this.
I'm not guilty about this.
And he, like, tells him all about their baby.
Great.
And so
I've been doing a lot of lying to you tonight, Father.
Yeah, and then Colbert's, like, they find out, and the priest is like, Danny, I'll be mailing you your excommunication letter. And
he's like, well, you lied to me and said there wasn't dessert, and there's a jar of cookies right here. And so he opens it, and he's like, oh, my God.
And it's all the condoms.
The layer of Lucifer. And it's like all the condoms. And
then Mindy agrees that they're gonna raise the baby Catholic.
So that.
And then as Colbert is leaving, he like takes the condoms. He's like, I'll give these to the Greek Orthodox. And then like.
Is that a? Oh no.
Well, Greek Orthodox
Yeah.
jab there from Colbert.
Exactly.
He,
But
will,
it's-
he never lets a moment pass
Also,
yet.
I
attacked
forgot
on
when they
that
have
one.
dinner, Stephen
Cool.
Colbert does grace, and the line they show is like, and may all sinners burn forever in the fires of hell. And it's so funny.
It's so pointed.
It's very
It's
pointed.
one of the best episodes.
Yeah, it's so good.
I don't know about
Hijinks,
that.
lying.
Thank you for letting me relive that entire episode.
That's all going in. That's
problem.
all making the cut.
You're welcome,
And how many
guys.
episodes do you think are based on somebody lying and then having to try to cover for that lie?
All
for
of
the
them,
rest
bro.
of the episode?
Most of
Like
them.
Mindy
most of
Project.
The whole thing is like Mindy lies about a lot.
I think one of my favorite episodes is one where Peter and Morgan get together and they're just sexting Cliff.
Yes,
I like
that's
it's
a
re-
really
it's
good
Cliff
just
is
like
singing Jewel.
so
Oh, no,
it's
that's
like
another
Different.
episode.
so it's like Cliff is all like nervous about Mindy because like
Yeah.
they just like each other and shit
Yeah.
like that. And then Peter and Morgan get her phone and they're like arguing on how to text her, and it just
Yeah.
reminded me of high school so much.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god!
Yeah,
I was like,
they're
where
like
are
s-
we?
they're
Grade
like
11 again?
they're
Like,
sexting
and they're
Cliff.
like, no, don't add a wiki face. That's like word porn.
And then they send one, and he's like, wink, and then it cuts to Cliff, and he's like, winky face, Dr. Lahir. It's so good.
There's another one after Cliff breaks up with Mindy
When Mindy's
because
in
Mindy
LA
like,
with Peter.
saw Casey, but nothing,
She goes,
whatever.
we're going to LA.
And then so
Whatever part.
Peter and Morgan.
Is that
Like
the
an
universal
entourage.
sign for?
No, they're like pretending they're
Entourage.
and she's like, we're going to LA. Like,
Yeah.
all this stuff. It's so good.
So in another episode, Peter and Morgan get
clothes.
trapped in the bathroom
They hate each
after
other.
hours,
They
and so
kill
they're
each
just like
other.
stuck in this bathroom. And so Cliff's office is above
Right ab-
them, I
yeah,
think.
or, like across the hall.
And then so they can like hear through the vents like Cliff just like
Crying.
singing and
Just
crying
crying.
to the same Jewel song like over and
so
over
long.
and over again, and they like finally get out and they see him in the elevator and they're like, you okay, man?
Peter goes, oh no, Morgan goes, oh, like you've been singing a lot of Jewel.
Yeah.
And then he's like standing there and he's like, going to bed
Yeah.
at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And like
I
starts
think the
singing
Peter
again in the
Morgan
elevator.
dynamic
Yeah,
awesome.
is really
it's
good.
so good.
Because they're
But
both
so
so
good.
weird.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my god, I
And
love
Peter's clothes is great because Peter just wears like collar shirts
Yeah.
with like a vest over it,
Yeah,
and like they're always
sweaters,
just weird
khaki
vests,
jeans.
I
and
love-
it's just
Yeah.
when
it's like something I can see myself in like 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay, well you didn't need to
See?
nod.
I love when Peter,
Thanks a lot. Wait, I should pull up a picture.
you
of
not wear
Peter
them
just to
now?
Get you.
Peter.
Oh, yeah.
The
Well, I
best is
got my
when Peter
khakis
is,
on. Hold on.
when he starts dating Lauren, who's like another doctor in the office, and like, she's a neurosurgeon, and she knows Jeremy from, they like went to school together, and Peter is just like, she like stands up to give him presentation, and he goes, "That's my girlfriend. Like, give it a twirl, girl."
Give us a twirl, girl.
And
And
Mindy's
Mindy's
in the
just
front,
like,
just like, yeah, like.
she's like, no.
Don't they look alike?
All right. Well, I don't know.
I-
Me and
No, go
Adam-
back to the last one. You knew the last one looked like you a little bit, so then you changed it. I
Shit.
saw that.
Oh,
Yeah, that
You
definitely
don't look
looks
that
like
much like when it's like right there, but
Hold on.
My favorite is when they're having that weird like after office boys night and they're playing with like Nerf guns.
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
when he captures Mindy and he's like,
starts, like,
I pledge
improvising."
allegiance
Yes.
to the United States of Obama's America.
and she's like, "What character is this?" Like, oh, it's so funny.
It's so
And then
good.
Morgan's dressed as a tree. I also like when they
Yes.
put in a basket. They don't know what to do in the courtyard. And Mindy wants like she wants a gazebo where you can take your lover after a long day or something
Yeah.
like that. And so
Yeah.
then they're like, no, we need a basketball court.
Yeah.
And so they turn it into the Peter Prentice. Peter does MMA and his MMA character is the Punisher. And so
Yeah.
they put it into the Peter Prentice, the Punisher Memorial
Memorial
Basketball
Court.
Court.
Yeah.
Oh, lots of good classics.
Oh,
with Mindy
yeah.
and the
If
guys.
you if you could be a character, who would you? Or if you
If you could describe Ben as a character, what would Ben?
Because
be?
Lila's Mindy. That's I think. In terms of outgoing.
In terms of
from
just,
the
there's nobody else that's
out.
Lila, are you
On
not
brand.
outgoing and know a lot about
Yeah.
celebrities? Are
Well, like,
neither of those
she's
things true?
Mindy's
What?
Lila's not like Mindy.
Okay, then
Okay,
what
so
is
then
Lila?
There are aspects,
Yes.
but like I could.
There's
say
not a
same
character
thing, like,
that's
I know a lot
literally
about
Lila.
celebrities.
Like you're never gonna
Okay.
find a character that's the same thing.
What
but like,
about
there's
Ben?
similar.
Betsy.
Yeah, I can.
I
You
think
kinda have a lot of
Jeremy,
bet-
Sort
Jeremy,
of.
kind of. Yeah.
I see
Sort of.
Betsy.
You're
All right.
It's been fun.
No, Jeremy's more out.
He's
Jeremy.
Wait, which one's Jeremy again?
The British one.
What?
Tall.
What about Julia?
More
Tall
like
and
later-
goofy.
more like later
Calling him
Jeremy.
tall and goofy?
No.
You
just
are?
called me tall and
Oh
goofy.
my
Oh my
I heard you
God.
call
Oh
me
my God,
tall
we
and
didn't talk
goofy.
about the Indian
No, we gotta talk
BBW
about you. Who are
episode.
you? Who would you describe yourself
I don't
as?
know.
Who's not
Julia,
tall and
as
not
you can.
goofy?
Anna.
Danny.
You're
But I don't-
Danny?
I'm
No,
not
you're not
Danny. I know,
Danny.
that's
No,
what
you're
I'm
not that
saying.
grumpy
Danny's
enough.
mom.
I don't think I'm.
Well, I
in that.
did a quiz and I got Peter, so I'm
Well,
happy.
There
yeah,
you go.
that sounds right.
I forget who
Sorry.
I got.
Probably
Like honestly,
Anna.
maybe Jeremy.
Anna.
No.
Why? Her is Anna?
Not
can
at
see it.
all.
That's
What are you
funny
even
'cause my
talking
middle
about
name's
right
Anna.
now?
Anna comes in later on.
Yeah.
She's like irrelevant. She's
Maybe Joe.
Jody. Colette. I'm Morgan if I'm anything.
I don't know.
No,
You're not
don't know.
Morgan. What? How would you be
Certain-
Morgan?
Brendan.
specific aspects.
Oh yeah.
Maybe you guys are Brendan and
Brendan and Duncan.
his
I could be
Duncan.
Duncan.
You can be Brendan. All right, great, good talk.
I
But
think
No,
we
I don't
should
know.
sign off.
what
Yeah, I think
what
that might
would
be-
you
It's
give
been a
the
lot of
show?
times.
Yeah. What would you?
What would you give the show? What would you
Out of
rate the
13,
show?
rate-
what would you rate the show?
Well,
out of
not
13?
rating it out of
13. There's a
Um,
stupid rating system.
out of
You
5?
really are,
I would
Jeremy.
give it a 4.5 out of 5.
So a 9
Not
out of
bad.
10.
First three
So a
ep-
9 out of 10.
First three
For
three
whole
seasons
show,
get a 5.
whole show. This is brutal. I would say like a 3.5.
But the
So like a
first
7 out of 10.
But the
If you do a half, you can just
first
double it. And then you get
few,
out of 10.
season
the
are
first
like a
3
4.5.
are like 4.5.
The fir-
Almost a
The first
perfect
5
show.
episodes, I would give a 4.
In the Club is such a good one.
I really liked it. I'm gonna give it like an 8.5
Out of
That's
13?
fair.
overall.
Not
Yeah,
out of 13.
exactly, out of
Absolutely
13.
not.
So on that note, I think we need to cut this.
Better not cut anything. I thought this was a great podcast.
We'll see. This has been an excellent episode of TVM Talks TV. I'd like to thank our guests.
You're
Julia
welcome.
and Alex. Do you have any last words to say?
Any
Thank
important
you
things
for
for the people to
having
know?
Thanks for
us.
having us. Can we shout something out?
Yeah, what do you want to shout out? It might not make it to the final
My
product.
mom? No, I'm just kidding.
my
Go,
fans.
someone
Follow
quick.
us on follow Borderless World Volunteers.
No,
I
that's
volunteer
not
with that
making it.
NGO. Ah, shit. All right.
Come on, come
I
up with a
got
better one.
nothing.
You guys, nothing?
I
I'm
said
calling
thank
out
you.
Peter. I'm calling out Adam
Do
Paley.
you
I
think-
just want to
I
say, if
love
you ever
Adam
want to
Paley.
do like something like if
Go
you
see
need a
Alex
younger
before
me.
stand up on Tuesday.
Ah, no, don't do that.
Alex
Let's.
at the
Can we
comedy
cut that? Can we
guys
cut that?
Tuesday.
No, no.
Wait, where are you doing stand up
Nah,
and at
we
what
should
time?
talk about
Don't
it,
worry,
guys.
this is not going to come out till after, so like you'll be
All
fine.
right, I'm doing I might be doing a stand-up set at the Comedy Nest
For Newbie Tuesday.
for Newbie Tuesdays, and I'd go over some material here, but I think it's a little too risque for
Weird.
this
For my-
podcast. For
So
your
on that
taste,
note,
clearly.
I'm Lila.
I'm Ben.
This has been a fascinating
I'm
episode
Alex.
of TVM
And I'm
Talks
Julia.
Minty Project. This has been Talking Chipmunks. Let's call back to a previous episode.
If
Anyway.
you, for the big fans out there who've seen all of them beginning
We're
to
all
end.
the Lila stands. We're all the Ben stands.
It's like
Let's see them in the
Team-
comments.
like
Yeah.
Team Edward and Team Jacob.
Oh my god, no.
What?
No,
Team
you're
Jacob,
Lila
no.
and Ben stands.
But we're not like pit against each other.
No, but stands.
Yeah, I know.
Like, so they don't fight.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean they're pitted against each other. They're just
Anyway.
obsessed
Let's see you
with
guys
you.
in the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or send an email to our
Send
email that will be in the
email.
description.
Subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Here's
Oh,
our
that
P.O.
was
box.
not
Okay,
English.
bye.
Okay.
All right.
And cut.